IPO is that you are buying directly from the company, so you don't have to pay any broker fees. So, because you'll see that there is some fees that are associated with buying shares. And then number two, because like currently there is no any company that is offering its IPO. So then if there's no IPO, where do you go? You have to go to stockbrokers. So there are 4 licensed companies offering the stockbroking services in Botswana. There is Imara Capital Securities, Stockbrokers Botswana, Motswedi Securities, and African Alliance. As an individual, you cannot go directly to the Botswana Stock Exchange and say, I want to buy shares. You have to approach one of these 4 companies and then buy the shares from them, because you cannot participate directly into the stock exchange. So they will then buy the shares that you need from the Botswana Stock Exchange. Even when you are selling, you go back to your broker and propose what shares, how much shares you want to sell, then they'll sell them for you. So currently I use the second one. I use the Stockbrokers Botswana. So that's where my broker is. So what documents are needed when you are buying from the stockbroker? So I'll talk more about Stockbrokers Botswana because that's where I have the experience. They wanted a certified copy of ID, proof of residence in the form of an affidavit or utility bill, proof of occupation in the form of a confirmation letter or your payslip, and proof of payment. This is you can deposit money into their bank, their bank account. Then you send them the proof of payment to say, I've paid this amount of money, can you buy shares for me? And then the documents that you have to fill the trading account application form. If you don't have an account with them, then you need to open up an account. They'll send you the forms. And then you also have to open that central security deposit application form. Remember I said your shares are stored in the CSD, central security deposit. So it's another private company that has an electronic database of all investors and how many shares they have. So it's you have to fill an application form for that if it's your first time buying shares. If you already have shares, you might already have a CSD a CSD number or account already. And then you also have to fill a mandate to buy. So Stockbrokers Botswana, they give you a form called the mandate to buy, as to we write how many shares do you want and of which company. So all this process can be done online. I think the first time I bought my Choppies shares, I was still in Australia. I sent all these documents from Australia and they were able to process everything for me. Even when I'm here in Botswana, when I need shares, I can just send an email and then scan all my documents and everything is done over email. So you don't have to be there in person. There are some costs associated with buying buying shares. Trading with the stockbrokers. Remember, these are professionals who need to make money, so they earn commission from selling shares. What are the fees? The fees that I'm writing here are also example from Stockbrokers Botswana. So there is the brokerage commissions that are charged on the total value of the purchase, and they're on a sliding scale. So if you are buying shares from 1 Thebe up to 1 million, they charge you 1.85% of the total value of the shares. So let's say I'm buying 20,000 shares. So the commission is 1.85% of 20,000. And if you are buying more than 1 million shares, then you can negotiate with them because now you are bringing in money power. And then there's also the Botswana Stock Exchange Commission, which is 0.15% of the value of the shares that you are buying. There's also the central security deposit fees, which is 0.1% of the total value of shares you are buying. Stock exchange handling fees are 15 kula per purchase, not per share, and 10 kula per sale. And then transactions on the Botswana Stock Exchange are levied 12% VAT on the commissions, handling, and all the other fees. So, but if you are buying more than 5 million, then the BSE fee will be 0.12% on deals on that deal. So just to give you an example of how much it's going to cost you, currently to buy BTC shares currently, as of yesterday, BTC shares were 0.7 TB per share. I mean, that's, sorry, 0.7, so that is 70 TB per share. So if you want to buy 10,000 BTCL shares currently, then a total amount value of the shares will be 7,000 pula. So what is the, what is the broker commission? It's 7,000 pula times 1.85, which is 145 pula. And then Botswana Stock Exchange commission is 7,000 pula times 0.15. CSD fees, 0.1% of that. Stock handling fees, 15 pula, and then there's the VAT, 12%. So the total amount of money that you are going to send to your stockbroker is not 7,000, but 7,181 pula 44 to account for the fees that they charge. So for 7,000 pula value of shares, you will pay the around 200 pula of fees. So in short, that is a summary. This is a summary of how you buy shares from the Botswana Stock Exchange. You approach a licensed stockbroker, you fill in a client form, you open the CSD account, you place a buy order, and then the broker executes the order for you. The broker confirms with the client, with the client, and then the shares are transferred to the client. So buying in the stock exchange is as easy as that.
All right, Mbenge, go back to your last slide. This one. So if every time, okay, let's say the first time it's 10,000 and this is how much I pay, I get. So the next time I want to buy 10,000 more shares. So I'll still be paying the same decommissioning on it and all that. So every time I buy shares, I pay that.
Yes, ma'am. For every sale, you have to pay some of these fees. Remember, that is how they make a living. It's
not bad. Looking at
the fees are not terrible. Yeah, they're reasonable.
Yeah. 181 is not bad. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
So I have a question.
Emma.
So with the brokers, are they only involved at the processing part of the buying? Do you take ownership and accountability once that the shares has been transferred to you, or do they continue managing the shares on your behalf and you continue to pay a commission?
Once you have bought shares, they are yours. So whatever happens with the thereafter with the shares, because if you buy and hold, you buy and do nothing and just wait for your dividends, then there's no transaction ongoing. So you don't have to pay any commission.
Okay.
Yes. So you're only gonna pay when you are buying or when you are selling.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. So what are the risks and benefits of buying shares? So at the top there is the benefits. You benefit from capital gain. This is when the share prices increases. So when the share prices increases, it means you can sell your shares at a higher value than what you bought them. So that's when most people will sell their shares when there's a capital gain. You can also benefit from shares from the dividends. These are when a company make profit at the end of the year, then they have to declare dividends to share the profit that they have made with their shareholders. So your share of that profit is called a dividend. So in most of the Botswana Stock Exchange companies, they give their dividends biannually, that is twice a year. They will have a half a year financial record, mostly around June, I mean, at 6 months at the end. Okay. I think I had disconnected a bit. Just a minute. Connect. This is my slide. We're still together, right? It had written reconnecting, so. All good? Somebody?
Yes, we can still hear you.
We're still here. We're still here.
Okay. All right, good. So I was saying companies give dividends biannually. It's every 6 months. So most companies will do end of June. They will have their financial statement at the end of June, and then they have their annual statement at the end of December. So I'll give an example of BTC. BTC, they closed the first half of the year, end of June, and then by September, they'll declare, August or September, they will declare how much dividends they're giving out. Then around, I'm not sure if is it August, September there, then October or somewhere around there, they'll deposit the dividends into a bank account. And then December again, they declare another dividend, and then you get it at the end of mostly around February. So I think even for June is August, September, you get it around September, and then for the end of December, you get it around February. And then what are the risks? Because the benefits are with the capital gain, and then with the dividends, you can get dividends. You can hold onto your shares and always get dividends every 6 months. And then the risk is with the capital loss, that is the decrease in share price. So mostly when there's a decrease in share price, people prefer to hold on, because if you are going to sell when the share price is less than what you bought the shares for, then you're going to make a loss. So you can hold, and then other people will prefer, now if the share price has gone down, you can be advised that it's the right time to buy. So it depends on what communication you have with your stockbroker. But with my stockbroker, because we don't have, I'm not sure how, because I don't pay them any commission. Normally I make these decisions by myself. I've never asked if they are to give me financial advice, whether I'll have to pay for that or not. So for me, I track how the shares are going and buy for myself. So the other risk with buying shares is withholding dividends. Sometimes companies feel like they have not made enough profit. They want to reinvest the profit that they've made into the expansion of the company. Then they will withhold giving dividends. So often it happens. BTC last year, it withheld dividends for the end of financial year, June 2020, because of the COVID epidemic. So we didn't get anything at that time. Sometimes companies get suspended, like Choppies. If people have been following the news, companies can get suspended. If they get suspended from the Botswana Stock Exchange, then at that time they're not trading, they're not giving dividends. So for the past 2 years, Choppies has not been trading, has not been giving dividends. So you can imagine how the shareholders made a loss during those 2 years. Sometimes companies get delisted at all. They get bankrupt, closure, recessions, epidemics. So those are some of the risks that are associated with the buying of shares that you must be aware of before you invest. But you should know that the concept of, I've already talked about this, buy low, sell high. So when the share price is low, you can buy more. When the share price has increased from the price that you bought your shares at, you can sell to make a profit. So at the end of the day, shares are a long-term investment. You use money you won't miss, because you don't want to buy today, then 6 months later say, I want my money back, because you won't have benefited from the stock exchange. Thank you. Questions?